What if a team was built only using RFAs from this year? The RFAs this offseason are so great that if you took the remaining unsigned RFAs to build a team, they would be a great team. This is what would happen if a team was built entirely using the unsigned RFAs from this year. The rules for building this team are as follows. The team has to be built using only RFAs from this year, and the team must remain under the salary cap. Also, the RFAs signed on this team will no longer play for their current NHL team. The first player signed is M.Tkachuk-B.Point-M.Marner, a player who is already a superstar in the NHL. The next player signed is Brayden Point, a player who has the potential to be a #1 center. The team needs a top shutdown defensive pair, so they signed both Z.Werenski and Charlie McAvoy, as both have proven to be a #1 defenseman in the league. Next, the team signs 2 goal-scoring wingers, in Brock Boeser and Matthew Tkachuk. Now the team needs a #1 goalie, so they signed Rittich. In the modern NHL, you need a strong top 4 defense, so the team signs J.Schuldt and Carlo to fill out the top 4. After filling out their top 4, the team needs to add more offensive depth. The team adds Colin White, J.Vrana-N and Nikita Gusev for secondary scoring. Next, the team adds A.Beauvillier-Co and Butchnevich to fill out the top 9. The team needs a backup goalie, so they signed L.Ullmark. The third D pair will be filled out by W.Butcher-M and Pettersson. The team is filled out by the signings of A.Beauvillier-Co.White-P.Buchnevich, B.Perlini-I.Barbashev-O, and B.Perlini-I.Barbashev-O. This is the final roster after the draft. The first line is Matthew Tkachuk, Brayden Point, and M.Tkachuk-B.Point-M.Marner. The second line is J.Vrana-N, Nikita Gusev, and Brock Boeser. The third line is A.Beauvillier-Co, Colin White, and Pavel Buchnevich. The fourth line is B.Perlini-I.Barbashev-O and Sundqvist. The first D pair is Z.Werenski and Charlie McAvoy. The second D pair is J.Schuldt and Carlo. The third D pair is W.Butcher and Pettersson. Goalies are D.Rittich and L.Ullmark. Because some key players have been taken away from their current rosters, those teams will need to make some moves. A 3-team trade is made between the Winnipeg Jets, New York Islanders, and Vancouver Canucks. The Winnipeg Jets get Josh Bailey, Sven Baertschi, Josh Teves, and a first-round pick in 2021. The New York Islanders get Patrik Laine and Tanner Pearson. The Vancouver Canucks get Kyle Connor and Josh Ho-Sang. The New York Islanders re-signed Patrik Laine to a 7-year deal worth $9.5 million per season. The Vancouver Canucks re-signed Kyle Connor to a 5-year deal worth $6 million per season, and they also re-signed Josh Ho-Sang to a 1-year deal. New Jersey Devils trade Pavel Zacha and a 4th-round pick in 2020 to the Buffalo Sabres for Victor Olofsson and Jake McCabe. New Jersey Devils re-signed Jake McCabe to a 3-year deal worth $2.7 million per season. Key free agent signings. San Jose Sharks signed Joe Thornton and Derek Englund. Tampa Bay Lightning signed Brian Boyle and Ben Lovejoy. Winnipeg Jets signed Jake Gardner and Derek Brassard. Anaheim Ducks signed Riley Sheahan. Carolina Hurricanes signed Justin Williams. Chicago Blackhawks signed Thomas Vanek. Columbus Blue Jackets signed Patrick Maroon. Dallas Stars signed Dan Girardi. Detroit Red Wings signed Tobias Ryder. New Jersey Devils signed Ben Hutton. New York Islanders signed Andrew McDonald. Minnesota Wild signed Dion Phaneuf. And the Montreal Canadiens signed Jason Pominville. The rest of the RFAs are re-signed by their current teams. Since the Central Division only has 7 teams, the RFA-only team will be placed in the Central Division. Now let's see how this affects the 2019-2020 season. In first place in the Atlantic Division are the Tampa Bay Lightning, followed by the Florida Panthers and Boston Bruins. In first place in the Metropolitan Division are the Washington Capitals, followed by the Philadelphia Flyers and New Jersey Devils. The Toronto Maple Leafs hold the first wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference, and the Pittsburgh Penguins hold the second wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. Missing out on the playoffs in the Eastern Conference are the New York Islanders, Carolina Hurricanes, New York Rangers, Montreal Canadiens, Columbus Blue Jackets, Buffalo Sabres, Detroit Red Wings, and Ottawa Senators. In first place in the Central Division are the Nashville Predators, followed by the Dallas Stars and St. Louis Blues. In first place in the Pacific Division are the San Jose Sharks, followed by the Vegas Golden Knights and Edmonton Oilers. The Colorado Avalanche hold the first wildcard spot in the Western Conference, and the All-RFA team hold the second wildcard spot in the Western Conference. Missing out on the playoffs in the Western Conference are the Winnipeg Jets, Chicago Blackhawks, Calgary Flames, Arizona Coyotes, Anaheim Ducks, Vancouver Canucks, Minnesota Wild, and LA Kings. The Toronto Maple Leafs and Dallas Stars meet in the Stanley Cup Finals, and the Dallas Stars win the Stanley Cup in 6 games. The All-RFA team made the playoffs but were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs by the Nashville Predators. The all RFA team already has a great young core of Mitch Marner, Brayden Point, Matthew Tkachuk, Brock Besser, Z.Werenski-C, and Charlie McAvoy. They will be a contender next year when Colin White and Nikita Gusev become impact players in the league. The takeaway from this scenario is that this class of restricted free agents are top notch. It will be some time before we get another class of RFAs like this. Next, what if every NHL team made a blockbuster trade?